my hand.
Yeah.
He's ready for his break already.
Sure.
Yeah.
Woo.
Now that would have been funny.
Okay. All right. So what do you think of when someone says Rastafari? You think of Bob Marley, dreadlocks, someone smoking a big fat spliff? Well, there really is a reason why they look the way they look and use marijuana. So today I'm going to give you a little bit about the history of that group of people, why they smoke marijuana, why they have dreadlocks, the diet they have, and the language that they speak. So first, let me start with their history. It starts back in the slums of Jamaica in the late 1920s when a teacher by the name of Marcus Garvey had a premonition that in the near future a black king would come to power in Africa and he would liberate the black people. Well, in 1930, Rastafari McKinnon, who proclaimed himself the king of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie I, at the same time, 4 Jamaican ministers pronounced him to be the Messiah. And as Catherine Bear writes in her article all about religion, they did so not just because he became king, but he could also trace his lineage back to King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. So the next thing I would like to talk to you about is about their belief systems. They believe that Haile Selassie was the embodiment of Jah, which is their God. He's the same Judeo-Christian God that we had, and just like Jesus Christ was the embodiment of God, so was Selassie. Some of the texts that they do use the Holy Bible. They really just pretty much utilize the Old Testament as well as the Book of Revelations. And they use another text called the Holy Phoebe, which was written by Robert Rogers in the 1920s, and he was a black minister. And the writings of that book lead them to believe that there is no afterlife, there is no heaven and hell. They view heaven and hell here on earth. To them, hell is in Jamaica. They were stolen from their native land, forced into slavery, and they view Zion as Ethiopia. One of their major beliefs is they want to repatriate back to Africa and back to Ethiopia. Another part of their belief system is that the body is a temple. And for that reason, they've created their own diet called the ITAL. And in that they do not eat any red meats. They don't use caffeine. They do not use any alcohol. It's pretty much pure foods. It's not really a vegetarian diet, but it's very similar to a vegetarian diet. A lot of them do eat fish because they are allowed to, in the writings of the Holy Bible, they're allowed to eat fish. And since the body's a temple, they don't mark the body in any way, so they have no tattoos. And because the body's a temple is the other reason why they actually have the hairstyle they have. They do not cut their hair at all. They do not use any unnatural products in their hair. And as Adua Dub writes in the article she wrote called the Rastafari Way of Life, that hairstyle is traced back to Eastern Africa and the warriors of Kenya. And it was also the same hairstyle in ancient Kemet and Nubia. Another belief that they have is that their language was stolen from them. And because of that, they've developed their own language. It's a combination of a Western Caribbean Creole and English. Since they were forced to learn English when they were forced into slavery, that's why they kind of created their own language. The final aspect I'd like to go over is their use of ganja or marijuana. To them, it's not a social intoxicating drug like you find in the United States. They don't just get high to get high. For them, it's used to cleanse the mind and the body, to bring them closer to Jah. It's pretty much used in conjunction with Bible study. And they do quote the Holy Bible as some reasons for its use. There's many verses that they've used, but a couple of them are In Genesis 3:18, it says, "Thou shalt eat the herb of the land." And they also cite Psalms 104:14, which says, "He causes the grass to grow for the cattle and the herb for the service of men." So with a bunch of different verses, that's why they utilize marijuana. So as you can see, for these reasons, they have a reason for using marijuana. They have a reason for their hairstyle. We've reviewed some of what their minor history is. And today there are approximately 1 million followers of this way of life. Thank you.